sat in your lap in months, and even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff, even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Little roller up along first. Behind the ball. It gets stopped up there. Here comes Knight in the next win. See you, Pittsburgh. Can't wait. All the baby is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going to go into the end zone. Looking, throwing in the end zone.
You're tuned into Game On with John Silverberg. Talking all things sports. It's
Game on! Yeah, game on!
Game On, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Hello.
You are listening and watching us live here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. This is Game On, joining you every single Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live right here on WSRN. You can check us out. Okay. You can check us out on worldwidesportsradio.com, YouTube, Instagram, Periscope, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so much more. This is Game On. Unfortunately, excuse me, I'm sorry. Caleb, say hi to everybody.
Hi.
What do you want to talk about tonight?
Baseball.
What team?
The Mets.
How are the Mets doing?
They hit home runs all the time. The ball comes. I watch home runs at Grandma and Papa's. I watch home runs at Grandma and Papa's. Right?
Yes, that's right. Well, unfortunately, Eric is not here tonight. He's dealing with a family situation, but filling in for him tonight, of course, is our wonderful producer, Mr. Speedy Petey, as he'll pop on the camera right now, as he's probably getting a huge laugh at the whole situation. And everything. Speedy, how are you?
Dad, gonna talk.
Yeah, what do you want to say?
I watch sometimes they get home runs, and like my
Who's your favorite player on the Mets?
Peter Alonso. Peter Alonso hits home runs all the time, so it can hit home runs, right?
Yeah, what's Speedy wearing on his shirt?
Mets shirt.
That's
right.
It
says Mets.
Yeah, Speedy's a Met fan too.
Me too.
Yeah, who's your favorite basketball team?
The Nets.
Who's your favorite hockey team?
The Rangers.
Who's your favorite football team?
The Packers.
See?
So, we just me too.
Oh, that's nice. Thanks, Snug. I also have a ton of injuries.
Just his home runs and
this is riveting, by the way, Speedy. This is as riveting as it gets. He was dying to come on.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's enough. All right, you say bye to everybody?
Bye.
All right, see you later. That was Caleb, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to leave and close the door on your way out, okay? Okay, see you later. You did so good. Good job, pal. Well, you want to come back? You want to stay here the whole time? Well, if you're going to stay here the whole time, you have to whoop as he falls. We have a lot to get into today. Speedy, we are down to the wire with our baseball season, and the team that you're wearing on your shirt is unfortunately not doing so hot right now as we speak. That's one. We'll get into our Week 4 NFL picks. As Speedy will be representing Eric this week for the picks and everything.
Which I want to know so far my picks of representing Eric.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can be your own person too if you want. Everything like that. Excuse me, if you're gonna stay, you have to sit. So, what should we talk about first, Caleb?
The Mets.
We should talk about the Mets, Speedy. Did you hear that?
All right, if you insist, Caleb.
All right, so we're gonna get into the Mets, and let's talk about the Mets. So obviously they had one of the better wins of the season. What was it? 2 nights ago, right, Speedy, against the Cubs. It was great. They're down 6-1.
No,
not yet.
So we hit home runs. Peter Alonso. Sometimes people get home runs. So we hit home runs. So we do home runs every time.
I heard Mommy has something for you in the kitchen. All right, bye.
Bye. See you after.
Okay, bye.
See you soon.
Okay, Speedy, take the conversation. I'm going to come right back really quickly. Take the conversation about the Mets.
So, while Josh caters to what Caleb has had in the kitchen, yes, the New York Mets barely holding on to the final playoff spot in the National League. Got a little help from the Dodgers today as they take down the Diamondbacks. Looks like they're up 8.
What was the final score of that game?
Not final yet.
Or is it over yet?
It's 2 outs away, but they're up 8-0. So it would take a lot for that to happen.
Okay, so that game is done and kaput. And you saw it today in the Reds game, right? The Reds nearly blew it in the 9th inning. Almost got swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates at home. This is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. We are now on the fringe of 3 teams. One who is uber talented but playing so below their par. The other 2 are just awful. And the Reds and the Diamondbacks. Isn't that right, Speedy?
Yeah, you would think. The 2 sellers.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, so I was saying before, the Mets had their best win, one of their best wins of the season. Probably, what was it? 2 nights ago against the Cubs. They're down 6-1, right? Nimmo starts the rally. They come back at 7-6. They take the lead. Cubs tie it. Then Francisco Alvarez in the 8th inning or the 9th inning? I can't remember. 8th inning, he hit the 2-run home run. The Mets win on top of a Reds and Diamondbacks loss. Fast forward to yesterday. Jonathan, who I've said time and time again, should not be on the roster. He's not ready. He's 22 years old. He's a kid. Be it as it may, right? You're given what's put in front of you, and unfortunately, the veterans on this team are garbage. Clay Holmes, Sean Manaea, David Peterson, Kodai Senga. I could go on and on and on about the veterans on this team. Then you got the ones that are out for the year, like Griffin Canning, who's been out, and Tyler McGill, who's been out, Ricky Montas, who's been out, which we all know now that was going to go.
I might have dodged a bullet.
Probably, but he could have had this injury all season. Montage, you know what I mean? Like I'm not making excuses for the guy, but I'm just saying in general, when you look at the way everything is set up, so the Reds won today. The Diamondbacks are going to lose. Now the Reds have to go to Milwaukee and play the Brewers in Milwaukee, where the Brewers are trying to hold off the Phillies for the best record in the National League and the 1 seed. And you have the Diamondbacks they're going to go to San Diego and play the Padres, who are trying to get that division from the Dodgers, right? So the Mets go to play the Marlins. Go figure. Happens all the time, right? Par for the course. Speedy is convinced that, as is Harold, that they think that they're going to get in, right? You all think they're going to get in. I'm on the fringe. And now, if they win tonight, it goes a long way. I actually think if they would have won tonight and the Reds lost today, I think it would have been over, because it would have been 2 games with 3 left. You know what I mean? It would have been very difficult for them to. I mean, they would almost essentially have to sweep the Brewers in Milwaukee. for them to come back from that. And here we are. We're in a situation now, Speedy, we didn't think we'd be in June, but we're here. So you believe the Mets? Do you think the Mets win tonight? Yes or no?
I do. I don't think the Cubs they scored 10 runs yesterday. I don't know if they do it again necessarily. We saw what they did with the Reds. They barely scored in that series. So I just don't think one game is just going to wake up their offense that much.
No, well, they also played a team. I mean, I will tell you this though. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see the lineup for tonight? It's interesting.
I haven't looked.
I'll tell you the lineup. It's Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Vientos DH, Nimmo, Torrens, Beatty, Taylor, Acuna, and then McLean.
Yeah, that's a little unconventional there.
It's got to be maybe the lefty situation, but he wants to put defense, I guess, at their base. I'm trying to figure out the Alvarez situation. Maybe Alvarez just needs a day to be careful with the hand.
Yeah,
but Alvarez has been one of their best hitters.
I know, just such bad luck with all this. It's like 3 different hand injuries this year.
But also, if you also know, Starlin Marte is also not in the lab tonight either. That to me is fascinating in itself. So I'm wondering, like, how they lost faith in Marte, in that sense. But the Reds really lost today. But they did. They won 2-1. Nail biter against the Pirates. I don't know where I'm at with this whole thing with the playoffs and everything. And the truth of the matter is, and I'm going to go on record as saying this too. If the Mets get in and they lose in the wild card round, that's still a failure of the season because they were 2 wins away from the World Series last year. So my hope is that David Stearns learned his lesson from this offseason, which was don't always count on everything happening being right every single year in regards to taking chances and flyers. They're not always going to work. And he did that with Griffin Canning. He did that with Frankie Montas. He let Severino go and Quintana go. And, I know Severino's not had a great year, but let me ask you, do you think the Mets could use a Luis Severino right now?
Well, if he pitches last year, but it's tough to tell if he would have again, though.
Well, he's all right. So this year he's 8-11 with a ERA of 4.5. Okay, so it's not awful, right? But it's not ideal. But he's also in a ballpark that's and then you have Quintana, who's not been great his last 3 outings. He's been 2 of his last 3 outings. He's been great. Quintana this year, what was it? He has a 3.96 ERA this year, Quintana. But then you have a guy like David Pearson, right, who's completely hit a wall. And I almost think of, do I want to go the Steven Matz route with that conversation? Or is that too harsh?
Maybe a little, but.
By the way, I remember when the Mets traded Steven Matz for Joey Lucchesi, and you said the Mets didn't get enough for him.
Yeah, at the time I didn't. I would have wanted them to explore the market more.
Well, they'll definitely explore the market for Kodai Senga this offseason because he won't be back next year.
Yeah.
I don't think he's coming back. David Peterson, I'm not so sure what they're going to do with him. But you look at their starting market. Who are the big free agents? I know Framber Valdez is on the market. I know Zach Gallen's had a mediocre season, but he's going to be on the market.
I'm willing to take a flyer on him, though. I think he still has good stuff.
But who else is on the market that's available in the free agent starting pitching market? Like who? Where I don't need to feel like I need to take chances on this nonsense again. Because Manaea's getting a spot next year. Manaea's going to get the surgery, so he's going to get a spot, right? You could almost pencil in McLean, Sproat, I guess Tong, right, by default, because he's already here.
Yeah, it's Dylan. It's Flaherty, Chris Bassett.
Oh God, no.
No. Max Scherzer.
No, he's robbing the Blue Jays dry right now after what happened the other day. He couldn't get out of the second inning against the Red Sox.
Yeah. Suarez.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Suarez after this year, UFA.
From the, am I thinking of the right guy from the Phillies, or am I not thinking of the? No,
Get the right guy from the Phillies.
where's Suarez? I do.
I know you don't like yellow.
How's he
fees, so
doing?
that.
I mean, yeah, Ranger Suarez would be interesting.
I'm
He's
good
30
with
years
that.
old too, Speedy.
Yeah, I'm good with that one because he doesn't throw a lot.
If they got Suarez and they took a flyer on Gallen or Cease, and you trade Senga, I don't know, for like bullpen help or
Yeah.
like you could if you could have like Cease, Suarez, Manaya, McLean, Sprout, and Tong as your rotation. I mean, like that's.
And there's a few mutual club interest ones with Brandon Woodruff, Michael King, Quintana. And
I can't do King. King scares me with the way he's finished in the season. Woodruff is fascinating because Woodruff, but the problem is he's coming. I mean, he's having a nice year, Woodruff too, isn't he?
Mhm.
Yeah, he is this year. This year, Woodruff is. Where is it? Yeah, 72, 3.2 ERA, 83 strikeouts and 64 innings and a .91 whip. Sounds like my kind of guy, but you don't want to put all the strain on him being the ace. That's the thing. But listen, we're already digging the Mets to grave while we're doing this conversation.
We're not getting Justin.
What did he say?
Justin Verlander might be available.
That's a negative on that one. But we'll go off the Mets for a second. We got to get into the other situation that's happening, and that's in the American League Central, huh, Speedy? The Detroit Tigers, who people were once portraying as the best team in the American League, might not even make the playoffs now. 15.5 game lead in July, and that's another team that did nothing at the trade deadline. They got Charlie Morton. They thought that was going to work and take a flyer. They didn't want to trade any of their prospects. And horrible. It's just a bad job by some of these organizations that don't. The one team that got a starter was Merrill Kelly with the Rangers, and they're not even going to make the postseason. And, to me, I find the whole thing, the way everything was portrayed was egregious. I think what's happening with Detroit is amazing, though, to watch. Like, I know it's not a 7 with 17 left to go, but you had a 15.5 game lead in July, though, Speedy. I mean, you would think at some point, right, they would be able to sustain it and figure it out. And Cleveland's just come on. I tell you, man, Stephen Vogt is a fabulous manager. I think Stephen Vogt is great when you look at everything that he's done from last year getting to the American League Championship Series to this year as well, getting into the American, getting into the winning the American League Central again for the second year in a row. And you look at everything and you view it from a perspective of where the Tigers are as a team. It just doesn't make any sense to me why they're in the position that they're in. And also, I'm viewing it as, well, now hold on a minute. Why are the Tigers, why is happening? Like guys like Torkelson and Meadows and all these guys that were doing really good, in the beginning of the year, have struggled in the second half. per se. That's the part to me that I'm still trying to grasp at is what has gone wrong for Detroit. And now everybody wants AJ Hinch gone. They want the GM gone. They want everybody out in Detroit. And it's really unfortunate because it was a really good story for a time being, especially last year, that they had the growth that they had. And now you're watching them this season and you're saying to yourself, oh, like this is just horrible now. They can't, to me, I look at it in the sense of where they're at and where the team is right now. It really is a very tough situation and a tough go. Oh, Speedy's back.
Yeah.
So to me, what happened?
The internet crapped out for a minute.
How does that happen?
Yeah, sometimes it happens in this house. Sometimes I guess.
Well, we're just talking about the Tigers and what's gone wrong with them and how they just. When you saw the growth of what they were doing this year and everything of that nature, now all the Tiger fans want AJ Hinch gone. What when you hear that, like you're hanging with the Tigers, you're hanging with the Blue Jays, what the Mariners are doing right now in the American League West, which is if you got a Yankees Mariners ALCS, I think that would draw great ratings. That would bring back nostalgia, right? From what 95 or what was it the year that Griffey? Yeah, it was 95.
Yeah, and then 01. The Seattle had the one season.
Yep. I mean, which team out of all these teams, with Cleveland, I was saying Steven Volt's got to be put as one of the best managers in baseball now for everything that he's done with this team the last 2 years with essentially people being traded off. And like Josh Naylor was traded and look at them. They might win the division again. And it really is something like you look at all these storylines that's happening in Major League Baseball. Like which one to you stands out the most? And which one do you think which team of all these teams that I said, Mariners, Guardians, all these, like which team do you view right now that's going on that hot streak that you say, oh yeah, like they can get going at the right time?
I think you mentioned the Mariners. I think that's definitely one. I wasn't sure if they were going to make it at first, but they did win the trade deadline, and then they just needed that one streak to get going, and they have that now. Houston doesn't look right now. I like about a month ago, I thought they were the best team in the American League, and they haven't looked right. So they're the next, I think, complete team. I don't trust the Blue Jays. The Tigers, they're skidding now. Maybe they make it, but can you trust them at this point? Cleveland's a nice story. I think it'll fizzle out eventually. I think it comes down to Seattle, Yankees, Red Sox for me.
So you think Yankees, Red Sox is what it's going to end up being possible? Who do you think wins the AL East?
The Yankees at this point because they finished the season with the Orioles. I think they'll do well.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. I said the same. To me, I think the AL. I think the ALCS is going to be. I could see Yankees, Mariners. Is what I could see in the ALCS. Now the Yankees could have home field advantage in that, Speedy.
Right.
And to me, the Yankees could be the 1 seed of this whole thing. And I've said it time and time again. I've said Aaron Boone is a good manager. And everybody yells at me. I know Errol has said Aaron Boone is a good manager. We get yelled at. Aaron Boone is a good manager. He is. It's time. I know he hasn't won a World Series. I get that. That's fine. But to be able to keep this team consistently in it every single season and to be able to do what he does and to get them to where they're at. Now, listen, do I trust the Yankee bullpen right now? 1,000%. I do not. Luke Weaver's been awful. I don't trust Devin Williams, especially in the postseason. Duvall's been horrendous since they got him. Tim Hill's been up and down. The only guy I trust in that bullpen is Bednar, and even he's been inconsistent at times. That's where I think the Mariners could have an advantage. But the one thing that the Mariners are doing right now is their lineup. They're getting power from, the Josh Naylors. All of a sudden, Eugenio Suarez has started to hit a little bit, right? Julio Rodriguez is now, I think, when you see what he's doing, 270, 32 home runs, 95 RBIs. That's a good season, right, Speedy? That's a really good season. I think, I know Mariner fans are basically saying, well, Suarez is only hitting 190. That's awful. He's got the 12 home runs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's never a big average guy. Anyway.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, listen, the guy that's really thriving the guy that's thriving for Seattle right now is Josh Naylor. 9 home runs, 33 RBIs, 291 batting average since they got Naylor. But the biggest thing, too, is that they have Luis Castillo. They got Logan Gilbert, right? They got Brian Wu. They got, they have the starting pitching. And so do the Yankees, right?
Yep.
That's where I would give it a wash almost, with the starting pitching. It was, the series would be what? It would be for the Mariners, they would throw probably Wu, Castillo, then Gilbert, and then the Yankees would throw Fried, Rodon, and Schlittler or Heel or whoever they want to go with.
I would say probably Heel, just because I don't know if you want to do Schlittler like this quickly, but he's a good fourth option if it's a longer series. Like, we don't know when they're going to play yet. It might be ALCS, like you're saying, and that's a 7-game series. And then the Mariners,
and they're both the top 2 series speed. That's the only time they could do it is the ALCS, which is rating by what's now.
Seattle would have Kirby as a fourth guy too, in that sense.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting about George Kirby. Yeah, and George Kirby's having, it's really, like Kirby's not having the greatest series, a 4.5 ERA, but his career ERA, by the way, from Rye, New York, by the way, George Kirby was an All-Star in 2023, and he had a good season last year too. So in the end, but also the Mariners have a nice bullpen, right? Like they got Munoz. I'm trying to see for the bullpen for the Mariners. They got Matt Brash, who has a 2.5 ERA. They got Gabe Spear, lefty. He has a 2.5 ERA. They got Caleb Ferguson's got a near 4 ERA, so he's a. Basardo has an ERA of 2.3. And then also, I think it was Vargas has an ERA near 4, but he's also has good stuff. I know Hank. Yeah, like Speedy, their bullpen is like really legitimately phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Between Munoz, Brash, Spear, Ferguson, and Basardo, and Vargas. But then, of course, the big one is Cal Raleigh, who's probably going to win the MVP. You know what I'm saying?
You got to 60, and you're going to get 3 more to break the record.
It really is. I'm just trying to see who the Yankees. Yeah, let me pull the Yankees depth chart. You have Weaver, who's kind of near 4. We know Duvall's been awful for the Yankees. He's not been great for the Yankees since he's come here. His ERA is 5. We know how Leiter Jr.'s been. It's not been pretty. Hill's been okay. But then, of course, you have the great and powerful Devin Williams. Maybe Paul Blackburn will get into it. You think Paul Blackburn will see some action?
Paul Blackburn. That would be something.
He, with the Yankees, has an ERA of 5.4.
Yeah.
Also, Yarbaugh's been good. Has been pretty good too for the Yankees.
Yeah,
but the Mariners had the bullpen. Lineups are tough because when you actually look at the when you think of the Yankees, the top heavy, who would you think of? You would think what, Speedy? Judge, Stanton, Jazz, Bellinger.
Yeah, those are definitely the top 4, especially with Jazz now getting the
third. And then for the Mariners, it's Rowley, Rodriguez, Naylor, Suarez. I guess you would say would be the 4.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
so it's almost like who would you take of those 2 teams?
I think the Yankees are probably a little more complete, complete overall players. Seattle's got the power, raw power that's still very good though. So it's not far behind. I guess it depends on base percentage really with Suarez, Stanton, and Judge especially in the playoffs.
I also go to ask the stadium. Look at where the Mariners and look at this. They're doing all this in one of the toughest hitting ballparks in baseball, right? At T-Mobile Park. So I think that it's kind of a feather in their cap that they could do this almost anywhere. It feels like, right? Man, I like the Seattle team a lot. I really do. I mean, you know, I mean, Dan Wilson's done such a good job with this team since he took over for Scott Service last year. I don't know, and the rotation is kind of interesting, right? Like, it's almost like, all right, so for the Yankees, it would be Fried, Rodon, I guess Heel, and Schlittler.
Yeah,
And
I would do
Mariners.
Right.
Yeah, Mariners. It would be Wu, Castillo, Gilbert, Kirby. Like that's Mariners are good, man. Like I'm thinking about it in my head. Like the Mariners are a good freaking team. You know, like they're really like kind of just putting it together. But I mean, I digress on that one. We'll see what happens to end the season. 4 more days left of Major League Baseball. Thank goodness, because I've had enough. And I had so much more. But Speedy, let's now get actually before we get to that, the Ryder Cup was announced. Teams were announced today. Did you like how the teams were set up, or did you think the rookies were kind of set up in a bad way, where if the U.S. is down, now you're relying on them to?
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure because they're not notoriously great with the Ryder Cup anyway. So having to set it up for
how did Mirakawa get into the early slot tomorrow with the way he's played?
I don't know. Probably some level of popularity and like I don't know. Maybe there's some. I don't know. I don't know if he's lived golf or not, but maybe there's some kind of.
Well, DeChambeau is, but DeChambeau's playing early tomorrow. He's on the first one, 7:10 tomorrow. Bryson.
Oh yeah,
he's on the first one. So, obviously, good job by the PGA to move the stuff yesterday because today was such a disaster in New York with the weather. It was bad. I'm curious how the conditions are going to be tomorrow. Now, I've played on. I never did Bethpage Black. I've done Bethpage Red. I've never done Black. It's impossible to get Bethpage Black. You have to get there at like 4 a.m. and wait in your car for sign up. But I'm very curious. I know people like the European side more. I'll be tuning into it tomorrow. Probably not early at the 7:10 start, but somewhat at a certain point. But I'm curious about it. I just did not have the rookies playing. I don't know, Mars interesting. But let's get to our week 4 picks, Speedy, because it's already 6:40. It's crazy. So which games do you want to pick, Speedy?
All right, so we'll start with the big game, the 1:00 game of the Eagles and the Buccaneers. They're both 3-0 on the season. Tampa obviously losing Mike Evans to a hamstring.
Don't remind me. Yeah. Don't remind me. I already lost. I already lost Burrow, and now I lose Evans. It's just bad. It's just bad. I remind
you of that in last week's thumbnail that you didn't like because we had to reference quarterback.
That was.
The Eagles are 3.5-point favorites in this one. I think Tampa does cover. I think eventually the receiver injuries are going to hurt. This will be a big test for Ibuka. And I don't know if they have enough. So I think Philly wins a tight one.
Okay, so where's the game? Philly-Tampa. Where's it in? It's in
Tampa.
Philly or? Oh, that's Tampa. It's interesting. Okay. I mean, the Philly fans are going to come out. They're going to travel. 3.5, though. It's not that bad. They're giving Tampa a chance. People believe in Baker, and I would. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the league until proven otherwise, right? Like that's granted. The Jet game last week was almost an mitigated disaster. It's so funny when McDonald blocked that field goal. I still thought the Jets were going to lose the game. To me, I think Philly's just so complete right now. They are. It's kind of crazy when you say that, right? Because Barkley hasn't even gotten it going yet. I feel like teams are now starting to stack the box against him, and now they're expecting Hurts to kind of beat him with their arm. I'm going to take Philly in this one. I think eventually they'll come at that, but I'll take Philly. But I think Tampa's going to make it very close, Speedy. I don't discount Baker. I worry about the defense of Tampa a little bit.
All right, moving on. We'll go to your new fantasy quarterback and Danny Dimes and the Indianapolis Colts traveling to LA.
Funny you say that. Funny you say that. I actually on waiver, I did not get him. Somebody got him.
You didn't get him.
Oh, yep. No, nope. You know why? You know who I wanted to pick it up last week because I thought he would have a great game and was a disaster. Michael Penix. What a disaster! I went for my boy and he let me down so bad. He was horrendous. It was one of the worst quarterback fantasy games I've ever seen. He got me 3 points in the game.
Yeah,
which is bad.
That's for any position.
But
Rams.
Well, my new starter.
What do you say?
Go on. Well, no, I was gonna say, but my new starter, CJ Stroud, and he's been horrific too. But go on. Who's favored? The Rams are favored.
We're favored at home by 3.5. I do think they do win this game. I think Jones will still play well. I worry about the Colts defense more against those receivers. The corner's a little suspect, so I like the Rams here.
I don't know, man. I'm feeling this Danny Dimes thing. I think he's just playing at a high level right now that just really – I think this Colt team is re-energized. I know it's killing you, Speedy, but I think he's just brought energy to this Colts team. And I think that is, I think Steichen's done a fabulous job with him. I'm going to take the Colts in a shocker. I am. I'm going to take the Colts. I think they'll hang on to this one. I'm curious how the Rams come back off the mat after that tough loss last week against Philly, where they blew it.
First time has ever 2 kicks blocked in one game. Or
yeah,
time,
well,
1975, I should say. First time there were 2 kicks blocked in one game by the Eagles. All right, we'll finish off with the kind of desperation bowl between the Ravens and the Chiefs. The Ravens are 2.5 points.
Yeah, the Ravens have been weird this year. Their defense has been atrocious, right? Like, their defense has been so bad. And you have to ask yourself the question, how much longer does John have there? Where the Ravens, you think, just say enough's enough? Do you think it's if they don't win the Super Bowl? I think it's if they don't win the Super Bowl this year. I think he's out. Would you agree?
Very much could be. I thought their defense got better, and they've been atrocious this year.
Yeah, they've been. Yeah, it's been bad. Yeah, their defense has been so bad. And look at them. I mean, it just. I mean, it's literally, I don't know. I mean, it's not like. Has Kansas City done anything special though either? Really?
That's why it's a desperation.
You know what I mean? Well, they won last week. They beat the Giants.
Good. You get half a win for that.
You play who's on your schedule, Speedy. To me, I view it as in the forthcoming. What'd you say?
Tell that to your dad's team that lost to the Browns.
Oh, please don't even. He was not happy. That was bad. I mean, that was just. Oof. To me, I look. It's in Baltimore.
No, it's at Kansas City, but the Ravens are still favored by 2.5 on the road.
I'm gonna go Chiefs in this game. I don't like the vibes of Baltimore right now. I don't. Something's off. Derrick Henry's got fumble issues all of a sudden. Like, what is that? Like, that's a new thing. Like, what's going on there? something's off with this team. This defense just looks so bad. And they got Jair Alexander. Remember, that was the big one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kansas City. I don't know. I don't like the vibes right now with them.
Yeah, I actually am too, because they've always had a good schematic advantage on some good Ravens defenses in the past. They should get Worthy back as well. I think they'll have to settle for a lot of field goals, but I think the Chiefs do end up winning as well. The Ravens defense, you're right, not trustworthy at all.
All right. Well, that's it for our Week 4 pick, Speedy. Thank you so much. And now, of course, we have a few more minutes left before we get to our Get Better Than That. Let's get into some Jackson Dart conversation, Speedy, because I know you must be ecstatic for him to start Week 4. I have said this time and time again. I don't know if this is the right spot for him to do it, but I constantly told Giant fans this. This is not about you. This is about Brian Dable and Joe Shane's jobs being on the line, and they're desperate. And to me, I view the whole situation as just screams desperate, because they know what they need to have to keep their jobs. Now, here's the problem. You're starting them against one of the best defenses in football in the Los Angeles Chargers, and Clemac's not playing, but you also have Jim Harbaugh as the head coach, one of the better defensive minds in football. I don't know if this is the best landing spot for him. I would have waited another week, right, when they play the Saints. I mean, they play the Saints the following week. That might have been a better landing spot for him to go to. But it's not about what we want. It's about what Dable and Shane need to do. And they say, if the Giants win 5 or 6 games this year, right, but Jackson Dart plays awesome, then Dable and Shane could go to management and say, hey, look, I know we only won 5 or 6 games, but what are you going to do? You're going to fire us, and you're going to bring in a whole new coaching staff now for this kid, and he's got to restart all over again? We have something here. I think that's what they're hanging their hat on right now. The Winston signing makes no sense at this point then. Like, why sign Winston then if you were never even going to utilize him? That's the part I'm just like, whatever. But I know Russ was bad last week. I understand that. It was a rough go. But I don't know. Speedy, what are your thoughts on the whole thing with Dart and starting and announcing? I know you probably said it on Job in the Mouth, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't really care about like how Russ played. Like, I don't think that really correlates to anything. I think as long as they have a plan for something, I don't really care like what opponent it is. I would have waited a little longer too, probably, because I still think he's raw in some areas. But at the same time, like, I just more worried about the game plan with him. I worry about Dable because he's just dry as a play caller the last 2 years all of a sudden. And yeah, right. If he does get fired, is Mike Kafka going to be good as a head coach? Because that's probably who they would hire after that. So, I mean, I'm tempering my expectations for this game. I hope he just plays smart, like read the field, like don't force the ball to your first read, because I'm worried like the traits wise that he possesses is a lot like the good and the bad of Sam Darnold. And I don't want him to turn into what he was early in his career with the Jets. And I think that's the thing I worry about, even if they did play the Saints next week and they just had him like sling the ball all over the field. So I just want them to be smart game planning wise with him more than anything else. And I don't care about wins and losses or even like drastically with the stats as much as I see him actually grow in terms of an intelligence standpoint and reading the field.
Well, quick update right now. They're in the bottom of the first. In Cleveland, the Tigers are leading the Guardians 2-0 as the game. 2 of the first 3 hitters, Jahmai Jones and Winsfield Perez, hit home runs. So it is 2-0 Detroit right now, who are trying to get back into this thing. The Dodgers won today. They whooped the Diamondbacks, so they have officially clinched the NL West. I think the Diamondbacks are all but dead anyway. Yeah. So I'm almost just like my mindset with how I'm going to go into this Met game tonight. I know people are wondering is just like, I'm just going to sit and watch and see whatever happens. But I just can't believe the lineup that's been put out there tonight.
Yeah. It was strange.
I don't understand the Acuna second. I don't get the Torrens at catcher. unless Alvarez, they need to give him a break with his hands. He's been one of their best hitters. It just doesn't make any sense to me why this is the route they're going to go. But having said all that, it is time for our You Get Better Than That. Speedy, what is yours? I know it could be the team on your shirt, possibly.
Actually has a little bit to do with that. And I'm also going to reference a guy that was on this show a few years ago and had like 200 swear words on our show. And that was Mr. Frank the Tank. And apparently he got like
yes.
last night because I guess he didn't do a live stream or something, and like he was getting annoyed, like 500 people were trying to call him or something like that, and he's like frustrated with the phone service. Come on, fans, like stop pranking guys. Prank calls. We heard Jeff Ulbricht's son do it all during the draft, and these guys were thinking they got drafted. It's just a really bad look. So all you
where's Ulbricht now?
Atlanta.
Makes sense.
So all you prank callers, yeah, you're better than that.
Ah, man. My You Better Than That might surprise people. But it's not to do with baseball. It was Knicks Media Day the other day. And something that bothered me was, it's going to sound crazy, and Speedy, I don't know if you noticed this, if it was talked about, right? I don't think Knicks talk was talked about this week, right? On Jabba in the Mouth. It was Jalen Brunson's demeanor when it gets about Tibbs' firing. And he's taking it very hard and very personal. And I don't like the demeanor that he showed during that. Like, I need him to be upbeat. He's the captain of this team. Like, let's go. Jalen, I need you to come on, man. I think the Knicks can win the NBA Finals this year. Not only do I think they can, I think they will win the NBA Finals this year, which is crazy. That means they're probably not going to. Yeah. So Jalen Brunson, come on, man, you're better than that. Get that. Come on, man, energy up. Let's go, dude. Oh man. Check us out at WorldWideSportsRadio.com, YouTube, Instagram, Periscope, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Jabba the Meth has their own TikTok. You can check out Jabba the Meth on Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Snowman in the morning, and of course the Weekend Crunch on 103.9 LIV News Radio Network every Saturday at 7 p.m. or after the New York Islanders play. Speedy, any last thoughts before we sign off?
I want to give a shout out to your son for entertaining us for the first 5 minutes of the show as well.
Caleb was something. Caleb, listen. Caleb tried so hard with the Mets and explained why he loves the Mets and Pete Alonso, and if Pete's not back next year, this is going to be to him like what John Olerud was to me when he left. That's going to be bad, but we'll see what happens. All the games are at 3:00 on Sunday, Speedy. There's no like watching one game before another game. They're all at 3:00 on Sunday. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Next time I talk to you, we could be discussing. We'll be discussing Yankee postseason baseball. Will we be discussing Met postseason baseball? We shall see. We'll find out. Good luck to all your teams out there that are still in it. We'll talk to you all next week. Enjoy your football this weekend. Enjoy everything. I'm actually looking forward to that. I'll be going apple picking on Saturday. Fall festivities. Yeah. That time of the year. All that and so much more. Check out all of our great shows. We'll talk to you next week, everybody. Until then, for Speedy Petey, I'm Josh Silverberg. For Eric Bowe as well. Have a good night. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your sports. Good luck to all your teams that are still in it in this postseason race. Have a good one.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.